Welcome back. Well, days after the IMF praised the Indian economy as the lone bright spot in a dark horizon due to the rapidly growing economy, even in post-COVID difficult times, an advertisement in the US newspaper Wall Street Journal has dubbed India a dangerous place for investors. On October 13th, a full-page ad was taken out in the Wall Street Journal calling for sanctions against Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman, Supreme Court judges, the CBI and the Enforcement Directorate officials, among others. The reason? According to the ad, the state institutions have been weaponized under the Modi government to settle political scores and has made India a dangerous place for investors. In fact, there is a QR code as well at the bottom of the ad that leads to the US think tank Frontiers of Freedom. The names that have been mentioned in the ad for the proposed sanctions are exactly the same as those that are mentioned in a petition that was filed in August this year. In fact, it was filed by a man called Ramachandra Vishwanathan and submitted to the US Department by the Frontiers of Freedom, the ad sponsors. So here is where the story gets interesting. Taking a strong exception to the ad, senior advisor to INB Ministry Kanchan Gupta revealed that behind this malign India campaign is Ramachandra Vishwanathan, who is a former CEO of Davis, now among the key accused in a scam that is linked to the company.
To suggest that the Finance Minister of India is guilty of gross violation of human rights, or Supreme Court judges are guilty of gross violation of human rights, it's not something which should be taken lightly. And I think it was extremely shameful of Wall Street Journal to have published this advertisement. They obviously knew about the contents of the advertisement, and yet they went ahead and published it. So there could be only two explanations. One, that WSJ is so broke and is so in need of money that it has to publish such defamatory advertisement. And the second explanation is that the WSJ, the Wall Street Journal, is complicit, is collaborating with a fugitive from Indian law to attack the government of India. Here is a fugitive from Indian law, and he is now desperate to sort of get out of the jam in which he finds himself.
So who is Ramachandran Vishwanathan? He is a US citizen. Enforcement Directorate had filed a petition to declare him fugitive economic offender over the Antrix Davis deal in the UPA era in June this year. And a notice has also been served to him on the 17th of September 2022. Now, while the BJP has slammed the defamatory article questioning the timing and intent, the Congress party says that it validates their criticism of the government.
This journal is very famous all over the world, and you can't ignore its opinion. And definitely during last 8 years, our country has come to this point where people are very unhappy to invest here in this country. Not normal situation. That is the reason foreign investment is not coming to our country, and definitely not only this finance minister, but even prime minister of the country. Both of them are responsible for this.
It's in very poor taste. It names people, puts their photographs. It's defamatory in any way. It's not based on anything. It's a view. It shows for money. Even a so-called prestigious publication like the Wall Street Journal is willing to go to any level. It's an agenda against India. They have become part of that agenda. It's an agenda against individuals, and they all have reputations which is being tarnished unnecessarily. And there's no excuse to hide behind and say this is freedom of speech or press.
Well, Times now has written to both Wall Street Journal as well as the Frontiers of Freedom to understand what was the basis on which the allegations have been leveled and whether any due diligence has been done before giving a platform to the anti-India agenda. We are awaiting a response from them, but as of now, let's tell you what we know on the ad. So let's tell you what we know as of now and what it shows. First up, we of course know that this ad has been put out on the Wall Street Journal page on the October 13th. This has been deliberately timed to coincide with the Finance Minister Nirmala Sitharaman's visit to the United States. So this ad also says that India under Modi is dangerous for investors. Now this clearly shows that an attempt is being made to malign India as the finance minister is meeting the World Bank as well as the IMF. Now there is a QR code as well that is given at the end of the page that shows Frontiers of Freedom ad sponsor. So they are the sponsors of the ad. This clearly shows that this ad by a US-based group is linked to the ex-Devas CEO. We'll give you details of what that means in the entire controversy as well. So this ad very clearly seeks a ban on 11 people who are all linked to the Devas scam. This echoes the earlier plea that has been given by the CEO, Mr. Vishwanathan. This was a plea that was earlier given, and in the ad as well, a very similar language that has been used. We do know that the Devas scam accused sent similar list back in August, and this could be linked to the Enforcement Directorate action that has been initiated against the accused. Now, we do know that the Devas scam accused sent a similar list back in August. The Enforcement Directorate plea, remember, to declare Vishwanathan a fugitive was sent back in June. Now, this ad also has the Devas scam accused sent similar list in August, and a notice also being sent by the Enforcement Directorate on the 17th of September. So Vishwanathan's plea was submitted to the US government, and this was also by the Frontier of Freedom. So the sponsor of the ad very clearly is also linked to the ex-Devas CEO. That's the information that is coming in from the details that we have at the moment. So these are the questions that remain unanswered, of course still awaiting a response from the Wall Street Journal on that. So is this a concerted attempt to malign India? That's the question we're asking. Tushar Gupta, senior editor of Swarajya, joining us. Anshul Saxena, political strategist. Usman Chaudhary, leader of the Congress party, and Vivek Srivastava, political analyst, joining us. Mr. Tushar Gupta, this is an ad. So an ad that has come full page ad, and it coincides with the visit of Nirmala Sitharaman. How do you view it?
See, Pratibha, three things. One, the ad is something that someone who's placed it has bought it from Wall Street Journal. It's not the opinion of Wall Street Journal. So we need to divorce these two things. It's not the opinion of the news. It's an ad someone purchased in the newspaper. Like you can do it, I can do it, anyone else can do it. Number two, it's interesting that the Congress wants to back this ad. Suddenly they are looking to find validation in people who the EDs are declaring as fugitives, economic fugitives rather. And we all know his history. It has been put out on Twitter and elsewhere for everyone to read that he was involved in the 2G scam also. He was promising some satellite-based multimedia services, and there was an entire scam behind it. So one has to also question the individual placing these ads. Number three, if you look at the FDI in the last 1, 2, 3 years, especially during 2020, you can look at how some big tech companies from the US invested in some private sector companies in India. And just a week ago, Apple decided to start the production of certain product lines in India. So to say that India is not a great manufacturing destination or it's a dangerous investment destination, it's all very punitive. It sounds all very political. It sounds very vindictive. And one can understand because this person sitting there is an economic fugitive, as said by the ED. So I don't think we should take him very seriously. The only thing we need to remember is this is not the opinion of the newspaper. It's just an ad. Someone bought it there.
You know, even if it's an ad, it says that India is a dangerous place to invest, and that can have ramifications. And look at the timing of it. Just when Nirmala Sitharaman is in the United States, just days after the IMF also hailed India's great growth stories. And that's where the problematic aspect comes in. But I just want to go across to Congressman Chaudhary. I want to quote what Rashid Alvi, the Congress leader, has said. This journal is very famous all over the world, and you can't ignore its opinion. Definitely in the last 8 years, it has come to a point where people don't want to invest in India. So are you endorsing this ad that has come up on the Wall Street Journal?
No, don't join the dots with the statement of a person. Rashid Alvi ji is of course the senior leader of the party, but is that the official stand of the Congress party? Tushar Mehta wants to implicate the Congress party for any follies, any misrepresentation of facts that is happening anywhere in the world. मतलब उनके लिए कांग्रेस पार्टी सारे बीमारी का जड़ है जो वो लोग खुद किए है. This is not correct. Rashid Alvi ji has made his own individual statement. The fact remains that the Congress party will not support any such propaganda against the Indian Union, but will support on issue based against any policies of the Indian government at present. We are criticizing the policies of the Indian government, that is the BJP government, but we are not supporting any such type of misrepresentation in any type of advertisements or articles that may degrade India anywhere in the world. Having said that, madam, let me just point out few facts about this ad. You have said that some Mr. X is connected with the frontiers of freedom.
Yes.
But you know the CEO of the Frontier of Freedom is not the gentleman that you are quoting out here. That is a different person absolutely. And let them come out with an official statement before you link the dots out here. What malefied intent this person had in putting up this ad in the Wall Street Journal, that's need to be decided.
No, that
But
has
the
been well
contents,
established. In fact, we have
nobody
written
will
to the
be
Wall
able
Street
to
Journal as
recount the
well, asking
contents
for
that
their
are here.
response on why they did not fact check and
So
why
you
they
have to
carried out
wait.
such an
But
ad, a
Tushar
full page ad on
Tushar Mehta
that.
ji, with
Hold
his
on,
all
I want to take this
agenda
across to
based
Anshul Saxena. Anshul Saxena, the Congress party is saying that we criticize the government. Yes, you know, the investments are down, it's not right, but we don't agree with what the Wall Street Journal has said. Do we take this ad seriously? Is it just an ad that has appeared or is there more?
It is just a kind of attack जब इंडिया ने ग्रोथ कर रहा है इस टाइम पर जो इकोनॉमिक ग्रोथ हो रहा है उसके हिसाब से देख के आप देखेंगे तो पूरा अटैक किया गया है और इसमें पूरा एक इन्वेस्टमेंट को टारगेट नहीं किया गया सिर्फ इसमें इंडिया की इमेज को भी डिग्रेड किया गया है कि इंडिया डेंजरस है. अगर आप देखेंगे तो सबसे ज्यादा जो फॉरेन इन्वेस्टमेंट हुआ है पिछले 2-3 सालों में जब कोविड था उस टाइम पे भी तो इंडिया में हुआ है. तो उसको देख के पूरा अटैक किया गया है कि किस तरीके से हम इंडिया की ग्रोथ पे अटैक कर सकते हैं. और जिस पर्सन ने ये किया है वो खुद ही कांग्रेस के टाइम पर काफी उसके इन्वेस्टमेंट करने की उसने कोशिश करी, उसे खुद ही फ्रॉड कह रखा है. ऐसे पर्सन खुद ही वो जगह जगह वॉल स्ट्रीट में एडवर्टाइजमेंट देता फिर रहा है. तो हमें ये समझना पड़ेगा कि यहाँ पर अटैक सिर्फ इन्वेस्टमेंट पर तो किया जा रहा है, साथ साथ भारत को भी डेंजरस कंट्री की तरह दिखाने की कोशिश की जा रही है. तो इसको आप सिर्फ एडवर्टाइजमेंट की तरह ना देखें, इसको एक पूरा कैंपेन की तरह देखिए जो भारत पे हो रहा है, इंडिया पे हो रहा है.
Yes. Okay, Tushar.
One point before we, you know, the FDI inflows this year for 2022 to 2023, when the entire global economy is slowing down, is more than $100 billion. That's the projection right now. And you know what's the interesting point? That's still 25% more than what we got last year. So before we go on in this debate, let's be very clear that India this year will receive the highest ever FDI inflows, while people outside, those who belong to the Washington lobby or the Lutyens lobby, anywhere, say that India is not an investment destination. That's one point I really wanted to add before we move on.
Okay, so highest FDI inflows and, you know, IMF calling India a bright spot. There's bigger endorsement that's needed. So, Mr. Vivek Srivastava, before I come to you, I want to bring in Mr. Vivek Srivastava. Endorsement that has come in from the IMF, this on the Wall Street Journal, can it be dismissed as just an ad? Or, you know, first, it's factually wrong. Second, this is a clear attempt to malign India and something more than just one ad that has appeared on the paper. It's part of a much larger conspiracy in maligning the country.
Yes. Yes. First of all, I don't think we are doing very well. That is the first part. Your hunger index ranking is not very great. Mr. Tushar Mehta should comment on it. That's the first part.
I'm not Tushar
Secondly,
Mehta.
I do not endorse Wall Street Journal at all. Mr. Tushar, you are saying that it is not an opinion. Yeah. Okay. Mr. Tushar, you said that it is not the opinion of Wall Street. It is just an advertisement. Even if it was the opinion of Wall Street, I do not know if you should have agreed or not. Times magazine had called the Honorable Prime Minister of India divider in chief. So which magazine to be trusted, which not to be trusted, I think you should take out a list. Secondly, the fact is, even if it is a campaign, we are very clear India is not doing well. Whether it is your unemployment, whether it is your academics and studies and education, which is becoming costlier, it is your hunger index, as I had pointed it out, your price increase, you know, all these things against which we have been doing agitations, and we are trying to force the Modi government to change the policies. This government belongs to a few selective rich business lobbies, you know, the Adanis, the Ambanis, that I do not want to name very specifically, and it is not the government for the common man. So it is the truth. I'm not talking about investment. This is not a great place to live anymore. 2014, things have changed. You have given a bad name to the nation. You have given a bad name to the Hindu community. We never had attacks on the Hindus like it happened in the United Kingdom. So this India is an India which does not have a very good international rapport. It does not have a very good international understanding. You do not have good relations with any of your neighbors. And suddenly somebody puts an ad in one wave journal and everybody starts jumping.
Things have changed after 2014. Any data that suggests that India has now become a workplace is saying. Anshul, Vivek Shrivastava is saying that India is not the same. After 2014, everything has changed. Agar kisi, you know, in any of the international press, if India is hailed, then the BJP welcomes it. But if not, then it says it's a conspiracy.
2014 के बाद से आप देखेंगे तो जो ईज ऑफ बिजनेस रैंकिंग है वो काफी ऊपर गई है इंडिया की, पर वो आपको नहीं दिखेगी। जो चीजें अच्छी हो रही हैं वो आपको नहीं दिखेगा कहीं।
2014 के बाद से जितने पत्रकारों को जेल में डाल रहे हो उन्हें नोबेल प्राइज का नॉमिनेशन मिल रहा है।
नहीं दिख रहा है मुझे। अगर आप बिजनेस की बात करेंगे तो
any journalist, you guys try to target either the person will be nominated for Magsaysay or for a Nobel।
आज मेक इन इंडिया के अंदर मर्सिडीज जैसी investment
small and medium sized enterprises failed, and the Honorable Prime Minister of India was forced to say,
Pratibha, may I
the Honorable Prime Minister of India cancelled his 100% FDI and went for an Atmanirbhar Bharat because your 100% FDI failed.
जो अच्छी चीजें
प्रतिभा
वही काम करना जो वॉल स्ट्रीट जर्नल करता आ रहा है।
अंशुल एक सेकंड पहली चीज तो नहीं एक मिनट सुनिए। विवेक श्रीवास्तव जी कह रहे हैं आज हिंदुओं पर अटैक हो रहा है यूके में क्योंकि मोदी गवर्नमेंट है। ये विवेक श्रीवास्तव जी ही थे कुछ दिन पहले आप ही के चैनल पर जो कह रहे थे 2014 के बाद जो अटैक हो रहे हैं हिंदू पे वो एक रिएक्शन है कि क्या हो रहा है इंडिया में माइनॉरिटीज के अगेंस्ट। तो ऐसे लोगों को तो बिल्कुल सीरियसली लेना नहीं चाहिए। क्या सोचते हैं, क्या बोलते हैं, क्या कहते हैं, इनकी बातों को खारिज कर देना चाहिए। अपनी यू स्टैंड बाय योर पॉइंट।
पत्रकारों को आप टारगेट कर रहे हैं सर, कितने पत्रकारों आप टारगेट कर रहे हैं सर?
विवेक श्रीवास्तव
कितनों के खिलाफ आप धाराएं लगा रहे हैं सर?
विवेक श्रीवास्तव
को नोबेल प्राइज का नॉमिनेशन मिलेगा, किसी को मैग्सेसे का, तो इंडिया का बुरा नाम नहीं हो रहा। People whom you are targeting are being nominated for the Nobel Prize.
Very quickly I quickly want to take a response from Kamlesh Chaudhary as well. That 2014, after that a lot has changed, and if the international press is saying it, that the country should accept it.
No, the basic point that you must understand out there, our economy is down. The perception of doing business in India has gone down tremendously across the world. There is no denying the fact.
So if the IMF says it, if we have rankings that have come in, do we all ignore it all for this ad that has come up in these papers?
Let me finish, please. Let me finish, please. When you say that $100 billion of foreign reserves has come in India, 4 major automobile companies have stopped their shop in India. Thousands of people are left homeless, jobless in India right now. US is denying visas to the Indians in the US. What is the foreign policy that India is achieving with this Hindutva hotline?
I'll have to wrap it up. I just want to take a last word from Tushar Gupta. Tushar, the last word on this, you know, whether it's an ad being passed off as an opinion piece. Yes.
One number I'll give to just summarize this entire debate. In the 14 sectors that were opened up for the production linked incentive scheme, there has been an investment committed of rupees 2.34 lakh crore. Now companies are looking at India as an alternative to China for supply chain diversification, and Apple has already led that supply chain diversification. So whatever the other two panelists want to say, they can say their perceptions are welcome to them. But at this point, there are multiple companies across 14 sectors, willing to invest lakh and crore worth of rupees in India and create multiple jobs. That's my point. That's my final conclusion.
So there are the numbers, endorsement for the IMF, all of it ignored with an ad that has come up on the Wall Street Journal. Of course, this is not the last that we're hearing of it because the centre has taken a strong exception to the ad. We'll keep an eye out on all the developments on that front. Unfortunately, we're running out of time, so we'll have to wrap it up. Thanking our guests for joining us. On that note, we're slipping into a short break here. Be right back.